Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have been watching the folks in Port Charles for a long time, and I have to tell you, my heart is just breaking into a million pieces right now. You know, when you reach a certain age, you start to see the world a little differently. You understand that the strongest people can sometimes carry the heaviest, most invisible burdens. That is exactly what we are witnessing with our dear Anna Devane. Bless her heart, she has always been the rock, the fierce protector, the woman who could stare down the barrel of a gun without even blinking. But right now, she is wandering through a dark, terrifying forest, and she cannot seem to find the light. After being released from that mental health facility over in France, we all hoped and prayed she would come back to us healed and whole. We wanted to believe that the doctors over there had worked their magic and that our beloved super spy was ready to take on the world again. But the sad, honest truth is that she is not fully recovered. Not by a long shot. She is carrying a ghost with her, and it is a ghost that is slowly eating away at her sanity. It is a tough row to hoe when your own mind turns against you, and watching Anna struggle like this is enough to bring a tear to anyone's eye. The ghost haunting her is none other than Peter August. He is like a bad penny that just keeps turning up, even from beyond the grave. Peter is whispering poison into Anna's ear, day in and day out. He is telling her that sweet Britt Westbourne needs to be eliminated. Now, just let that sink in for a moment. He is trying to convince a woman who has spent her life saving people to do something completely unthinkable. His reasoning? He claims that all the Faisons are exactly like their father, the infamous Cesar Faison. Now, anybody with a lick of sense can see the massive hole in that twisted logic. If all Faisons are inherently dangerous and evil, then Peter himself would be a monster, which means his own ghost is essentially admitting he is the bad guy. It is a completely upside down way of thinking. If he were actually alive and making this argument, he would be putting a giant target on his own back. But when a mind is as fragile as a thin sheet of ice, logic is the first thing to fall through. Anna cannot see the forest for the trees right now, and Peter's dark whispers are clouding her every judgment. What really gives me the chills, and I mean the kind of chills that make you want to pull a heavy blanket right up to your chin, is how Anna is reacting to him. Or rather, how she is not reacting at all. There was a time when Anna would fight back tooth and nail against any kind of manipulation. Remember when she was dealing with that fake Faison, Ross Cullum? She fought those illusions with every single ounce of her spirit. She would yell, she would deny, she would stand her ground like the fierce warrior we all know she is. But now she is just silent. She is not telling Peter that he is just a figment of her imagination. She is not pushing him away or trying to shake the visions from her head. She is listening. And in the world of the mind, silence is often the loudest form of surrender. She is starting to believe he is real, a formidable force standing right there in the room with her. The fact that she is not fighting back is the most terrifying red flag of all. It shows that she is slipping further into the darkness, and that is a downright scary place for a woman with her lethal skills to be. Now, let us turn our eyes over to a woman who knows a thing or two about survival and fierce motherly instincts, Liesl Obrecht. I have always said you can never underestimate a mother's love, especially a mother bear like Liesl. She has a radar that is sharper than a tack. Just the other day, she was sitting out at the beautiful Metro Court Gardens. It was supposed to be a lovely, peaceful afternoon. She was there with Nina Reeves and Sweet Willow Kane, celebrating a brand new chapter in Willow's life after her divorce from Drew Kane. It should have been a time of sunshine, warm smiles, and looking forward to the future. But a dark, heavy cloud was hanging over their table. Willow, bless her naive little heart, had this grand plan brewing in her head. She wanted to push Anna to reopen the case regarding the shooting of Drew, a case where Anna had already been completely cleared. Now, you and I both know that poking a sleeping bear is a fool's errand, but poking a wounded, unpredictable bear like Anna, that is just asking for a world of hurt. Liesl knew this in her very bones. She and Nina both tried to steer Willow away from this incredibly dangerous path, but Liesl took it a step further. She laid it out, plain and simple, looking Willow dead in the eye. She warned her that crossing Anna right now would bring nothing but pure trouble. Liesl has known Anna for more years than we can count, and she knows that Anna can see through almost any deception. Liesl told Willow that if she made Anna angry, she would be barking up the wrong tree and inviting a storm into her life that she could not possibly handle. But you see, it is much more than just knowing Anna's skills. It is a deep, lingering distrust that Liesl carries in her heart. Liesl has never been one to easily forgive, and she certainly has not forgotten the wild, baseless assumptions Anna has made about her family in the past. Anna had the absolute nerve to point the finger at Cassius Faison for kidnapping her. Now, let us get the facts straight, because the truth always comes out in the wash. Yes, it is true that Cassius was the terrible man who snatched poor Jocelyn Jacks, but it was actually Ross Cullum who kidnapped both Anna and Liesl. Liesl holds on to that resentment tightly. She hates that Anna paints her entire family with the same dirty brush, refusing to see the nuances or the truth of what actually happened. Liesl does not trust Anna's judgment on a good day, let alone when Anna's acting strange and unpredictable. She was not about to let young Willow walk blindly into Anna's dangerous crosshairs without giving her a stern piece of her mind. And thank goodness for Liesl's sharp instincts, because they were about to be put to the ultimate test. Have you ever had that sudden sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach? That undeniable tug on your heartstrings telling you that someone you love is in grave danger? That is exactly what happened to Liesl. Out of nowhere, her intuition started screaming that her daughter Britta was in terrible, life-threatening trouble. Now, we all know that Liesl and Britt have not always seen eye to eye. They have had their fair share of squabbles, arguments, and misunderstandings, just like any mother and daughter trying to navigate this complicated life. But when the chips are down, blood is thicker than water. Liesl did not second-guess that sinking feeling for a single second. She trusted her gut, she listened to that invisible string connecting a mother to her child, and she moved with the speed of a woman on a desperate mission. When Liesl finally arrived at the hospital, the scene she stumbled upon was enough to make your blood run absolutely cold. There was Britt just going about her demanding day, completely unaware of the dark shadow looming over her. She was likely checking charts, talking to nurses, just doing her job to save lives. And right there, lurking in the shadows, was Anna. Our once heroic Anna Devane, hiding out of sight, her eyes locked onto Britt, tracking her every single move like a wild hunter stalking its prey. You could almost feel the heavy, oppressive presence of Peter August standing right there beside Anna, whispering those wicked, dangerous commands into her ear, urging her to strike down an innocent woman. It was a powder keg just waiting for a single spark to blow everything sky high. If Anna had taken one more step, if she had fully given in to Peter's ghostly demands, we would be looking at an absolute tragedy that Port Charles would never recover from. But Liesl did not hesitate. She did not panic, and she did not make a grand, chaotic scene that would push a fragile Anna right over the edge. She used that incredible, fierce, motherly instinct to intervene perfectly. She knew deep in her soul that Anna was deeply unwell, that the woman standing in those shadows was not the rational, brilliant agent they all knew, but a broken soul being manipulated by the ghosts of her past. Liesl swooped in quietly but forcefully. She managed to intercept Anna, getting her away from the scene and out of the hospital, effectively saving her daughter's life in the blink of an eye. It was a quiet, desperate rescue, driven by a love so strong it could move mountains. She didn't need to shout or scream. Her presence alone, fueled by a mother's sheer determination, was enough to break the spell just long enough to get Anna out of there. It just goes to show you, my friends, that you can never truly know the silent battles someone is fighting inside their own mind. Anna is lost in a wilderness of her own making, trapped by the echoes of a man who brought nothing but pain and destruction to everyone he touched. It is a heartbreaking reminder that mental health is a fragile thing, and even the strongest among us need help sometimes. And on the flip side, we see the undeniable, unbreakable bond of a mother's love. Liesl might be rough around the edges. She might have a past that is as colorful and complicated as a patchwork quilt. But when her child was in the crosshairs, she was the ultimate savior. It makes you want to pick up the phone and call your own children to hold your loved ones a little closer today, doesn't it? We can only hope and pray that Anna gets the genuine, professional help she so desperately needs before her mind completely slips away into the darkness, and that Britt realizes just how incredibly lucky she is to have a mother bear like Liesl watching her back.